not only disappointed, not only mad, but genuinely worried about what's lurking in the future. Because just for to have the example of the Fonds des Générations, the cut within the transfer to the Fonds des Générations, which is about $1.3 billion last year, on a 10-year span, it represents something like $25 billion less within our future generation in their pocket. So that being said, this is a burden that we are putting forward. And today we have a non-balanced budget. We don't have a plan, and we don't even have a plan to, for instance, to build new construction. The housing problem, it's still a crisis. So there's no vision. There's no way. And again, Fred, if you want to...
Absolutely. Actually, to answer your question, yes, I'm upset, but I'm sad. I'm sad for the next generation. What the government is actually doing right now is mortgaging the future of our kids.
Yeah.
And that's terrible. Lack of vision, thinking just about themselves, not having a view for the next generation. I mean, we're talking like, 15 years old to newborns. They're the one going to have to suffer. Even 25-year-olds are going to be suffering. This is terrible. The way to think about the future is as if a father of a family would do, which is you want to grow the pie, you want to grow the revenue, you want to make sure that everybody will have enough to eat. You want to make sure we grow the economy, and the only way to do it is to grow the productivity of our small and medium-sized businesses in Quebec. And we are diversified in that field. We have 260,000 of them across the 17 economic regions of Quebec. So why don't we give ourselves a chance with that instead of doing what the CAQ is doing?
So what's your impression of the spending then?
It's total loss of control. And as I said in French before, this, by 2030, the total accumulated deficit will be plus $50 billion. Total net debt added to the balance sheet of Quebec will be $95 billion. And they didn't provide us a good view on inflation a few years ago. Carlos Etao was accurate on that. They didn't provide us good view on the growth of the Produit Intérieur GDP last year. They were wrong on the estimate of the deficit in November, a few months ago. It was supposed to be $4 billion, 4 months ago. And they had all the variables to come up with the $11 billion by then, plus or minus maybe a rounding error. So they're wrong about everything that they're doing, and they're blaming everybody but themselves.
A lot of people were caught off guard by that $11 billion,
Yeah.
the $4 billion you mentioned just in November. How do you get to that? Well, we saw the calculations yesterday, but to go from 4 to 11 in what, 3-4 months?
There's a few golfing expressions I could use to qualify your comment. One of them is sandbagging, but what these guys are doing are badly managing our economy. They're badly managing the way we should actually think about Quebec finances for the future. They have no view to grow the pie, none whatsoever. These guys are accountants, fine, but they don't even know how to add. That's the biggest issue with them.
What about a mulligan?
Well, you know what? That's fine. That's when you start the game, right? But they have 6 years under their belt by now.
Double bogey.
I mean, that's my rule. Mulligan is on the first tee, right? So when you start, that's the way it should be, right? You give yourself a chance. The guys are rookies at it, whatever. But they have 6 years under their belt. They're like at the par 19 right now.